Super Rugby Aotearoa for 2021 is underway, and it started in a pretty familiar fashion with the defending champion Crusaders getting a 26-13 win over Tony Brown's Highlanders side down in Dunedin. I'll go over some of the key points of the game, talk about some of the stats and my thoughts generally on it, and you guys can let me know how you thought it went as well. First thing, it's nice watching rugby with a crowd. I know it wasn't a sellout. Sections of the crowd were looking pretty good. Some seats were empty, but man, it was still good atmosphere. Just having fans cheering on their team just seems to get everyone fired up. And the guys were fired up early. Like the Crusaders gave away a penalty early. And Moody and, was it the Lock Reagan? We're having a bit of biffo, a bit of handbags. Moody with like the sumo palms. Like, is that a thing? He was palming them to the head, which is pretty dumb. You shouldn't be doing that, especially 2 minutes into a game. But anyway, he didn't get yellow carded or anything. There was just a penalty, which was there anyway. And the ref just told him to chill out, which probably worked because we didn't really see any more of that throughout the game. But yeah, I think the crowd was just injecting a bit of vibrancy into the game, eh? It's just a thing. It's beautiful having a crowd back. Crusaders, though, man, their scrum. Their scrum's unbelievable. The first scrum of the game, 5 minutes, the Highlanders just got absolutely monstered, and it didn't get much better throughout the game. A few times, the Highlanders were kind of able to hold it steady, but not much more. For large periods, the Crusaders were just walking all over that Highlanders pack, which was pretty disconcerting. But there wasn't that many scrums in the game, maybe 7. So, yeah, it wasn't a huge deal, but still, the Crusaders were able to get penalties from several of them. Crusaders did put the Highlanders under big pressure. Bryn Hall tried a big loopy cutout pass to Sevi Reese out on their right wing, but Alamalo, the new man for the Highlanders, managed to intercept that one. Bit of a try saver from him on his own line, but it didn't make too much difference because on 13 minutes, Cody Taylor gets the opening try of the game, one that the Highlanders will look back at and be pretty disappointed. It was just an inside ball from Whitelock to Cody Taylor, who hit the ball at pace. I think it was Ash Dixon and Mikaeli Tu'u just didn't really lay a hand on him. He just kind of burst between them as they were both kind of not able to get their shoulders into him. And he's got some wheels for a hooker, that man. He doesn't need a second invitation. All of a sudden, it's 7-0 to the Crusaders. And it got worse on 16 minutes, which is 3 minutes later. Bryn Hall gets a try. Sevi Reese set this one up. This one's probably the try of the game. He's going down the right wing. He's got space. And he kicks, which looks at first glance to be a horrendously bad kick across. But it's like, I don't know if he meant to do it. I'm guessing he meant to do it. He'll certainly claim that he meant to do it. Like a banana-style cross kick. You need to go back and watch the highlights once they're posted online. The All Blacks YouTube channel will definitely have it. Yeah, this cross kick it's one that you haven't really seen one like that for a while. And yeah, Bryn Hall's the first man to get to it. And yeah, all of a sudden it's 14-0. 14-0. That's not quite a point a minute, but it's not too far away. At that point, you're resigning yourself to the fact that it's going to be a proper hiding. But credit to the Highlanders, man. They don't let their heads get down. They get back into the game. And I should say, the Crusaders have been conceding a few penalties up until this point. When the Highlanders have had the ball, they've not been able to score, but they've been able to get the Crusaders to concede penalties. The Crusaders' difference is pretty much when they've had the ball, they've just gone down the other end and scored, which is a pretty effective tactic. But yeah, they get yellow carded on 22 minutes. Ethan Blackadder spends 10 minutes in the bin, too many penalties. And the Highlanders are eventually able to capitalise. Frizzell gets the try. They had a scrum, and it was quite a nice little set play. I'm hoping Tony Brown's going to have like a whole bag full of set play moves because he seems to be that kind of smart coach who's able to kind of think 2 steps ahead. From the back of the scrum, Mikaeli Tu'u goes right, and then they take it back to the blind side, and Frizzell, I guess with the extra man as well, Frizzell's just steaming onto the ball. Cody Taylor tries to get across, but can't stop him. No one's going to stop him from there, even if it's 15 on 15. Most probably, if there's a winger out there or a hooker, yeah, I don't think you're going to stop him. So great try, but they missed the conversion. So it is 14 points to 5. And the yellow card ends. So they only score 5 points during the yellow card, but you still take the 5 points. There was a big run from Mickey Alitutu on 32 minutes. He ended up knocking it on. I thought he could have passed it. Maybe let it go. Maybe some of the decision making not quite there, but the Crusaders defense was scrambling. However, on 36 minutes, Highlanders get another try, man. Another good one as well. It's Garden Bishop. He goes over with some proper gas after a Ngariki line break, and Ngariki really clocked up some run meters in this game. That makes it 14 points to 10. 14 points to 10 is back to game on. Like after being 14-0 down after just over 14 minutes. So, yeah, good fight back from the Highlanders, I thought. Half-time, the run meters are 138 to 143, so pretty even, but the Highlanders have had 62% possession and 65% territory. So that's what I mean by, like, they'll go down that end, knock on the door, get the Crusaders to concede a few penalties, but eventually the Crusaders get out of jail. Crusader story is we get the ball, go down your end and score points. So, yeah, man, making very efficient work of what little ball they had. Clean breaks are 3 to 4, turnovers conceded 6 apiece. The Highlanders will be disappointed with their tackling percentage in the first half was 77%, which is pretty poor, whereas the Crusaders were 87, which is like pretty solid test match level. Penalties conceded though 8 to 3, which is a theme with the Crusaders, and it did cost them probably 5 points with that 10 men in the bin. 41 minutes. There's an early penalty to the Highlanders, and then 47, it actually goes down the other end with Reese. Looks like he's gone over in the corner. First glance, I thought he looks to have snuck that in. He's running down the right corner, right wing to the corner, and he's getting tackled out and just kind of dots the ball down. And I thought, there's no way that's a try. After I'd seen it on the replay, I thought initial reaction try, second reaction no try, and then after seeing it from multiple angles, it's like, oh man, bugger being a TMO, that seems like a crap job. But interestingly, they decided to give it. They went with the on-field decision. On-field decision try. If you're a Highlanders fan, that's one you look back on and go, maybe we got a rotten call with that one, but it was really about as close to a genuine 50-50 as you will get. But yeah, tough football. Brilliant try. Sever Reese was making people look stupid in this game. He burned Tompkinson at one point with his jinking and jiving. It was, he was having a great game. Set up that one try, got a try of his own, beating defenders. It was really crazy. 51 minutes. Mo'unga, who was maybe not as sharp as his normal self, he missed a pretty innocuous-looking Highlanders high ball and put his team under all kinds of pressure. But the cross kick the Landers ended up trying after they got the ball back was a bit loose, shall we say, so they weren't able to get any points from it. And then Richie missed the drop goal on 61, but they went back for the 3 points from a penalty, and he missed it. So, yeah, the kicking boots weren't exactly there today either. 66 minutes, the TMO has to look for a Highlanders try. It's a maul, and man, they tried the maul a lot in this game, the Highlanders. I feel like the Crusaders, for the most part, eat those mauls for breakfast. Try something else. Try a slick move. Maybe you don't want to play all your cards on the first game, but mauling against the Crusaders is asking for trouble. They tried it way too many times, but they mauled it, the Highlanders, from like 5 meters out. The Crusaders pushed them back to about 10 meters out. They shove all the backs in there. They go close. The Crusaders actually conceded a penalty for collapsing the maul at that point. But they go through some phases, and it looks like they put a kick through, and was it Tompkinson that got there first to force it? Real loose ball. But they ruled there was a knock-on in the build-up, which looked to me to be off a foot, but I was too busy reading the chat in the live stream, so maybe I missed that as one as well. But tell me if that was a genuine knock-on. It seemed like another kind of dodgy one to me, but maybe I was just kind of hoping the Highlanders would pull off an upset win. I don't know. Remember, they were underdogs going into this one. They did go back for a penalty, though, and they tried the bloody maul again, the Highlanders, and of course the Crusaders turned them over. So they had a huge period of pressure, the Crusaders. They managed to weather the storm and get it clear. The Highlanders still had the ball in the Crusaders' half, like 30 meters out from the Crusaders' try line. They had a line out, and there was shambles. So, yeah, by that point, the momentum was fully with the Crusaders. 72 minutes, the Crusaders show the Highlanders how the whole maul thing is done. One of their first attempts at it, and it ends up being a try to Brodie McAllister, first try from him in Super Rugby, so didn't take them long at all. They are a very good side at doing the maul thing, and that's the final scoring, so it's 26-13 at that point. At that point, it's game over. The Highlanders are fighting for a bonus point. The Crusaders are trying to chase the try bonus point. The Highlanders get held up at one point. No, actually, the Highlanders they hold the Crusaders guy up, actually, from getting a bonus point try. And they were probably lucky the new rules, which was one of the few times we saw the new rules applied in this game, was the goal line dropout. The Highlanders are probably pretty thankful they didn't have to go through a 5-metre scrum. 80 minutes. Narek, he's on a break. He passes the ball to Fakatava. But Fakatava, before he can get the ball, he is touched by Scott Barrett. I don't think he was touched very hard, but he touched him. Scott Barrett shouldn't be probably touching him. Pushed him. But man, did Fakatava go down like a ton of spuds. Like a big old sack of spuds, he fell to the ground. So I don't like seeing Hollywood stuff, and he made the best of that fall, but Scott Barrett shouldn't be pushing him. So it's kind of, I'm a bit 6 of one, half a dozen of the other on that one. But anyway, they go through a proper line-out move, the Highlanders. They knock it on, but back for a penalty. Scott Barrett's in the bin, by the way, at this point for that push on Fakatava. They get the ball wide. It looks like Garden Bishop's got a clear run to the corner if he puts the gas down before the Crusaders defense can go over. But I'm thinking maybe he's worried about the fact they need a conversion to get within 10. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. He needs to get the conversion. So he steps back inside. He gets defended. They go for a cross kick to Liam Squire. They knock it on. Yeah, pretty disappointed with the Highlanders there, man. They should have at least got a bonus point from this one. Anyway, run meters finished 342 to 303. Position 54-46. Territory 57-53. That's in the Highlanders' favour. So they had the best of the stats. But it doesn't mean nothing if you can't get the final execution. Penalties conceded 15-8. That's with the Crusaders having more. The Highlanders upped their defence in the second half, 84%. The Crusaders also upped theirs to 89%, which is phenomenal. They made 139 tackles to 92, so a lot more. The Crusaders' scrum is awesome. Severis's steps are awesome. There's still a few guys who need to shake off a bit of rust. Man, imagine if Moonga's playing better than that. Crazy. Fakatava got some good minutes though. 56 minutes he came on, which was good to see because he needs some minutes if he's going to keep developing. Nareki finishes with 90 run meters, 4 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks. Taylor has 48 run meters and 2 clean breaks for a hooker. Christie has 15 out of 17 tackles. He is the top tackler of the match. The Highlanders will face the Chiefs away next week, so maybe they have a slight advantage of having played a week earlier while the Chiefs are on the bye. And the Crusaders are home to the Hurricanes, which will be a pretty tough game because going to Christchurch is not going to be easy. You guys let me know your thoughts on this one. I thought overall, pretty good start to the Aotearoa season. Pretty good start. Pretty happy with it. The quality of the game was good. I thought better than the quality of the first Aotearoa game last year, if not quite as dramatic. No late drop goal, but overall quality of the game, pretty exciting stuff. Anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.